This is a Rekonto original titled The Thief of Egypt, based on a tale told by Herodotus.
In the ancient land of Egypt, there reigned a pharaoh known as Rhampsinitus, whose name echoed through the annals of history. Renowned for his opulence and vast riches, tales of his wealth spread far and wide, becoming the stuff of legends. It was said that the treasures amassed by Rhampsinitus surpassed all others of his time, so much so that even the kings who succeeded him could scarcely hope to rival his fortune. Driven by the desire to safeguard his immense wealth, Rhampsinitus devised an imaginative plan. He commissioned the construction of a stone chamber, its walls sturdy and impregnable, to serve as a repository for his treasures. This chamber, meticulously crafted under his watchful eye, stood adjacent to the outer wall of his magnificent palace, its very presence a testament to the grandeur of his reign. Within the confines of this fortress-like chamber, Rhampsinitus entrusted his most prized possessions to the guardianship of stone and mortar. Here, nestled securely against the palace wall, his treasures would rest secure, a silent testament to the power and wealth of the pharaoh who had amassed them. As time passed, the legend of Rhampsinitus and his impenetrable chamber grew, whispered from one person to the next as proof to the splendor of ancient Egypt. Crafted with keen precision, the builder of the stone chamber devised a subtle yet effective mechanism within its walls. He strategically placed a single stone, seemingly insignificant, yet with the potential to be effortlessly removed by the strength of two men or even a solitary individual. Thus, while the chamber stood as a symbol of impenetrability to the outside world, its inner workings harbored a secret known only to the builder. With the completion of the chamber, Rhampsinitus wasted no time in entrusting his vast wealth to its protective confines. The treasures of the pharaoh gleamed within its walls, guarded by the everlasting stones amongst the impostor stone. Yet, as the sands of time continued to trickle down the hourglass, the builder neared the end of his days. Recognizing the value of his craftiness and the legacy he would leave behind, he summoned his two sons and imparted upon them the knowledge of the chamber's secret. With meticulous detail, he revealed the method of removing the stone and provided precise measurements, ensuring that his sons would become stewards of the king's riches, entrusted with the responsibility of safeguarding the treasures for generations to come. With the passing of their father, the builder, his sons wasted no time in putting their inherited knowledge to use. Under the cover of night, they stealthily made their way to the palace, where the stone chamber stood as a silent sentinel to the riches it concealed. With practiced hands, they deftly manipulated the stone, gaining access to the treasure within. Their actions went unnoticed, and they departed with a substantial portion of the pharaoh's wealth, leaving behind no trace of their intrusion. Upon discovering the depletion of his treasures, Rhampsinitus was bewildered and dismayed. Despite the intact seals and the seemingly impenetrable nature of the chamber, his riches continued to diminish with each subsequent opening. Faced with the perplexing mystery of the vanishing treasure, the king resolved to take action. He ordered traps to be meticulously laid around the vessels containing his wealth, determined to catch the elusive thieves who dared to plunder his riches. Thus, the stage was set for a tense and surreptitious struggle between the cunning thieves and the vigilant king, as each sought to outwit the other in a battle of deception and stealth. As the thieves returned to their covert operation, one of them ventured into the chamber once more, only to find himself ensnared in the trap set by the wily king. Realizing the dire predicament he faced, he called out to his brother, urgently conveying the gravity of the situation. With a desperate resolve to evade detection, he implored his brother to sever his head, thus eliminating any chance of recognition that could lead to their mutual downfall. Yielding to his brother's plea, the accomplice reluctantly complied, deeming the drastic measure necessary to protect their secret and preserve their freedom. With grim determination, he swiftly executed the grisly task, sealing his brother's fate in a bid to safeguard their illicit gains. Having disposed of the evidence of their crime, the surviving thief meticulously restored the chamber to its previous state, ensuring that no trace of their intrusion remained. As dawn broke and the king ventured once more into the chamber, he was greeted by the sight of the headless body ensnared in the trap, a baffling enigma shrouded in mystery. Perplexed by the inexplicable circumstances surrounding the thefts, the king grappled with uncertainty, unsure of how to proceed. In a bid to uncover the truth, he ordered the thief's lifeless form to be displayed prominently upon the outer wall, enacting a grim spectacle designed to draw out any who harbored knowledge of the crime. With vigilant guards stationed to observe the reactions of passers-by, the stage was set for the unraveling of an undercover conspiracy hidden within the shadows of the palace walls. Upon witnessing the grisly spectacle of her son's lifeless form hanging from the outer wall, the thief's mother was overcome with grief and anguish. Fueled by maternal instinct and a fierce determination to honor her child, she implored her surviving son to take action. With tear-filled eyes and a voice quivering with emotion, she beseeched him to devise a plan, no matter how perilous, to retrieve his brother's body from its ignominious display. In her desperation, she issued a stark ultimatum, threatening to betray their secret to the king should her son refuse to comply, a dire consequence that loomed ominously over their heads. Faced with his mother's relentless reproach and unable to assuage her anguish, the surviving brother resolved to devise a cunning scheme to fulfill her desperate plea. With a mind teeming with ingenuity, he concocted a plan that would exploit the vulnerabilities of the guards stationed around his brother's hanging body. Loading his trusty donkeys with skins filled to the brim with wine, he led them towards the location where the guards stood watch, their senses dulled by the monotony of their duty. As he approached the guards, the brother began to strategically loosen the fastenings of the wine-filled skins, causing the rich liquid to spill forth onto the ground. Feigning distress and confusion, he lamented loudly, appearing as a hapless traveler overwhelmed by the unexpected mishap. Sensing an opportunity to salvage the spilled wine, the guards hurriedly rushed to collect the precious liquid, oblivious to the true intentions of the crafty brother. Seizing the moment, the brother continued his ruse, berating the guards for their supposed incompetence while secretly plotting his next move. Gradually, through a combination of clever manipulation and fellowship, he ingratiated himself with the guards, enticing them into a false sense of camaraderie through the shared consumption of the wine. As the night wore on and the guards succumbed to the intoxicating effects of the drink, their vigilance waned, and they drifted into a drunken stupor, oblivious to the impending betrayal that loomed on the horizon. Under the cover of darkness, the thief seized his opportunity, deftly cutting down his brother's lifeless body from its discreditable perch. In a final act of defiance and retribution, he shaved the right cheeks of the slumbering guards as a brazen insult, before hoisting his brother's remains onto the backs of his faithful donkeys. With a heavy heart, yet a sense of duty fulfilled, he embarked on the journey homeward, knowing that he had honored his mother's wishes and ensured that his brother's dignity would be restored in death. Thus, amidst the intricate web of deceit and treachery, familial bonds prevailed, driving the surviving brother to extraordinary lengths in the pursuit of justice and redemption. Upon learning of the audacious act of retrieving the dead thief's body, the king's wrath knew no bounds, compelling him to take drastic measures to uncover the perpetrator behind the daring deed. Determined to unravel the mystery, the king devised a manipulative plan, enlisting the unwitting aid of his daughter. Courting her to the whole country, he instructed to interrogate all who approached her and discern their greatest crimes and cleverest tricks. The princess became an unwitting instrument in her father's quest for justice. Undeterred by the king's scheme, the resourceful thief resolved to outsmart the monarch with his own devious brand. Seizing upon a morbid opportunity, he severed the arm of a freshly deceased man and concealed it beneath his cloak, intending to deceive the princess with his authentic tale. As he stood before her amidst a throng of other petitioners, the thief calmly recounted his numerous exploits, weaving a tale of fratricide and royal pilferage. With deft sleight of hand, he presented the severed arm to the unsuspecting princess in the dim light, tricking her into believing it to be his own limb. She held fast onto the hand, securing the trickster of her father's fortune. But in the confusion that ensued, the thief seized the opportunity to slip away unnoticed, leaving behind a bewildered princess and a king none the wiser to his true identity. Thus, through wit and guile, the thief eluded the grasp of justice, leaving behind a trail of deception and intrigue in his wake. Amidst the echoes of the thief's audacious exploits, word of his unparalleled ingenuity and audacity reached the ears of the astonished king. Astounded by the man's sheer brilliance and daring, the monarch recognized an adverse companion in the elusive trickster. In a gesture of admiration and respect for the thief's unparalleled cunning, the king issued a proclamation far and wide, offering the rogue immunity and a generous reward should he choose to reveal himself and step into the royal presence. Emboldened by the king's promise of clemency, the thief emerged from the shadows and presented himself before Rhampsinitus, the ruler whose admiration he had earned through his unparalleled feats of deception. Impressed by the thief's unmatched wit and resourcefulness, the king bestowed upon him a reward beyond measure, granting him the highest honor a monarch could bestow, the hand of his own daughter in marriage. In this union, Rhampsinitus celebrated not only the thief's exceptional prowess, but also the enduring legacy of ingenuity that characterized the very essence of Egyptian craftsmanship. As the tale of the clever thief echoed throughout the land, it stood as a testament to the indomitable spirit of innovation that distinguished the ancient Egyptians from all others, a legacy perpetuated by one cunning rogue whose daring exploits had captured the imagination of a king and a kingdom alike.